Hi there. I talked about adult acne last week. Now I want to talk about COVID acne, midlife acne this week. Next week, I'm going to talk about products. By the time I'm done with this series, you're going to have a load of hints and tips on how you can deal with acne, regardless of your age. And because age makes possible treatment different, I've decided to do three separate episodes. The first one was about adult acne, and this one is about midlife acne. You're going to hear who gets it, where it occurs, what it feels like, why you get it, when you're likely to get it, and also what you can do about it. And the third and final episode of this series will be about products that might help. I'll talk about a popular cleanser so you can decide if it's something that you want to use. But that one's for next week. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in. Do hit that big red button today. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Susan McGregor. I'm a scientist. Throughout the COVID period, I've been providing free weekly skincare advice to help you maintain your skin and even to improve it using a gentle, non-invasive approach to skincare that really works. Let's get stuck right in now and talk about midlife acne. If you've been suffering from midlife acne, you know what it's like. You're probably in your 50s, maybe older. You wake up in the morning and the first thought in your head is, do I have another breakout? Oh, you rush to the bathroom mirror and you examine your face. Has yesterday's breakout gotten bigger? You worry. Has it gotten bulgier? It's a word, bulgier. You know what I mean. Some of them are big red bumps, lumps even. And you can't even have the satisfaction of squeezing them because there's nothing coming out. And even then, when something does come out, the stuff that comes out is so disgusting. And in any case, you know you're not supposed to squeeze them. You feel besieged. Even when your skin looks clear, you can still feel those big lumps deep underneath your skin, can't you? And you just know that there are so many others waiting in line just to break through. It feels never ending. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for the breakouts. Yet, there they are. One more thing that you really did not need right now. As you look in your mirror, your mind shifts to your makeup. Heavy makeup, really thick, so it can cover these enormous bumps. You feel like you're troweling plaster onto your skin as you desperately try to make your skin look smooth. And it takes so long to do it, doesn't it? Especially if your skin is dry and your makeup struggles anyway to go on smoothly, even at the best of times. But I wonder, have you given any thought to what you're really after? What do you really want from your skin? What do you want it to look like, to feel like? If you think about it for a minute, it's probably a safe bet if I suggested that you want healthy-looking, radiant, hydrated skin with as few lines as possible. Does that sound about right? Well, it is possible, and if that is what you want, then it's a good idea to start working with your skin instead of against it. Does that make sense? We women know instinctively that carrots often work better than sticks. Let's talk a little bit now about why. Why do you have this midlife acne? Why you? Why now? It's so confusing. I know. I'm going to help. I'm going to give you three reasons. First up, it's menopause. Yep, it keeps rearing its ugly head, doesn't it? You're in your 50s, and your skin is drier than it used to be. I've talked about this before. Your skin may also be dehydrated, not a combination that you would normally associate with acne, is it? Unfortunately, midlife acne is not particularly bothered by your skin type. So what is actually going on? Okay, so you've menopaused. You're not producing the same amount of estrogen as before. You know that. So it's harder to keep your skin healthy looking and hydrated, and those lines deepen. You also know that. Your skin's drier. You've seen that. You've felt it. Why? Here's my favorite analogy. The outermost layer of your skin can be as thin as a sheet of paper, but it's composed of a series of 15 brick walls that have been pushed together. Just take a moment to visualize that. Your skin cells are the bricks. These bricks naturally erode away, but at a set rate. Too much erosion, and it becomes abraded. It can go brown and flake away. The mortar in that wall is the nutrient-rich lipids. It's like a river. As you get older, that river becomes more and more sluggish. So, do you have that picture in your mind? A sluggish river that's flowing around these thin cells, these very thin bricks. So, can you understand that you're getting less nutrients to your skin? And of course, that would mean that your skin is becoming drier. Okay, I think you've got that. That's a pretty normal process, and it happens to all of us as we get older. Second, let's add COVID stress to the mix. You're probably familiar with the stress hormone called cortisol. Under normal conditions, your body will produce cortisol in an environment where you're anxious for a short time. So, for example, if you're running late for an appointment. Cortisol helps you cope with these temporarily stressful situations. But once the stress situation is over, your cortisol levels fall and your body goes back to normal. We weren't built for cortisol to stay high all the time. But because of COVID, you've been living in a situation of prolonged psychological stress because you've been anxious. Isn't that right? You've been anxious for months. Anxious about keeping your family safe. Anxious because you haven't been able to meet up with your friends for a coffee as often as you'd like. And you know that a good old natter helps to reduce a lot of stress. You've been anxious about keeping yourself safe, anxious about your job, anxious about how you would cope generally, about not seeing enough of your kids, especially if they're grown, about your grandkids, if you've got them, about not being able to offer the child care that you normally would. And the list goes on, doesn't it? You know what I'm talking about. You've been producing loads and loads of cortisol. If you're in that menopause age range, you know what I mean, that decade or so that we all go through, high levels of cortisol can affect your already low estrogen levels, and that can affect the brick and mortar structure we just talked about. Cortisol also has a direct impact on your skin. It can cause inflammation, and acne is as a result of skin inflammation. And your third reason, don't forget that we all have to wear masks. And what does that entail? Maybe you've worn makeup, makeup to cover the spots, maybe makeup just because you want to. But with a mask on, there's no free movement of air. Where your face is covered by the mask, it gets quite hot and sweaty, doesn't it? So it's no surprise that your pores block more easily. No surprise that you end up with congestion, even if you've never experienced it before. The material that makes up your face mask can also irritate your skin after a while, being in such close contact to your skin, constantly rubbing on your skin in this enclosed hot environment. So you can see why you may be more prone to congestion. So it's a triple whammy. Low or fluctuating estrogen levels, plus cortisol, plus mask. It's a perfect storm that leads to acne hell. For more women than usual, And for many women, the acne happens on the lower cheeks and chin, with the occasional breakout on the forehead. And that's all well and good, but what can you do about it? Lots of things, really. Here are 5 top tips. First, be sure that you deal with any clogged pores. A weekly scrub could work quite well, whether you're just starting to see clogged pores or you have full-blown acne. Second, use the right products. I'll talk more about this one in the next episode. Third, use those products in the right way. It's not only what you put on your skin that matters, it's also how you put it on. That too can have a huge impact. Head on over to atouchofspa.co.uk and download your free skincare routine that can really help with your COVID skin. Fourth, what about makeup? It just seems logical to avoid makeup that can clog your pores, and that, of course, would include powders. It's one thing, sure, to wear makeup for a couple of hours, but it's another if you're wearing it all day, especially for a long day. When you come in at night, do you be sure to clean your skin thoroughly? Are you sure you got rid of all the makeup? It's quite another thing, isn't it, to wear makeup for long hours and then be so tired that sometimes, you just don't get it all off and you hope it'll be okay tomorrow. In these times, maybe not so much. Fifth thing, what about stress? There's loads and loads of advice on the internet about meditation, about journaling, about going for a walk, about even focusing on the few things you can actually control. All or any of those can be really useful. Personally, I try to do just 2 minutes of deep breathing several times a day, and I find it really helps me. Until next week then, stay safe and stay well, and don't forget to download your skincare routine. Speak soon. Bye now.